Now, the old saying, winners have parties, losers have meetings. That's the state of play in Australian politics. Joining me live is former Labor advisor and Fitzpatrick & Co Advisory Special Counsel, Bruce Hawker. Bruce, we're going to try and get a new National leader, Liberal leader.
Green.
It's on.
And we've got a Green party in disarray.
He didn't cover himself in glory, did he, with his speech on the way out, Adam Band? He really didn't.
No, and in contrast, actually, to Dutton, who did give a gracious speech. And if we'd seen a bit more of that in Dutton in the course of his campaigning, you know, maybe he would have done better. But yeah, I think there's a refusal sometimes to accept that the public always gets it right. The voter always gets it right. You have to work from that principle in victory and especially in defeat. So you listen to what they've said, how they've voted, and then you start adjusting your policies appropriately. And that's what they're going to have to do now.
Yeah, look, let's have a look at them case by case. We won't worry about the Greens, but let's have a look at the Nationals. And who do you think's going to end up? Matt Canavan?
Well, it could
be very conservative.
He's very conservative. He's a bit of a disruptor. Again, somebody who probably isn't reading the room particularly well when it comes to where the Australian public is right now.
They don't really need a disruptor, do they?
No, we've got the disruptor-in-chief in the United States doing a great job. Thanks very much. So, I mean, that was partly Dutton's problem. So I think if I was the National Party, I'd be trying to settle things down a bit, looking to get in touch with their own electors, who obviously have some concerns as well. Even though they didn't do too badly compared to the Liberal Party, there are still quite a number of regional independents, either in the bush or pushing to become replacements for the National Party. So they have to be looking all the time at their own base, just like the other parties do too. So if I were them, I think I'd probably stick with Littleproud.
Well, he's impressive. He presents very well. He's got that youthful feel about himself.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they'd wrench him out of that role.
Well, I'd be surprised too. But yeah, as you see from politics, it comes down to the numbers and what the factions say.
Yeah.
But I think in the case of Canavan, he's an angry sort of a guy, and I don't know that really fits the tone at the moment.
It's pretty brittle, isn't it, when you think of options for the Liberal leadership, and that's nothing against the leading contenders, but there's just not a long list of them.
No, and again, partly their own problem because they hollowed out the moderate wing of their party over decades, and now they're paying the price for that as the country goes more and more moderate in its outlook, wants more women in the parliament, wants a less disruptive approach to its politics. They've got no one from the middle ground of the Liberal Party to actually perform that role particularly well. And that's a big problem for them. They've done virtually nothing to displace the Teals, virtually nothing. Picked up one seat and they may not even hold on to the seat that they hold in North Sydney. So I think that's a big problem for the Liberal Party. They've got to have a really hard look at themselves. Susan Lee may be a better option for them just because she's a woman. And that sends a message to a lot of would-be Liberal voters out there who've said, look, we're not prepared to support a party that is giving us 4 Liberal members of Parliament who are women against 40 for the Labor Party and counting.
One of the most annoying things of the campaign for lots of people I know were the text messages from the Trumpet of Patriots. Have we seen the end of... Look, I spoke to someone this morning and I was serious when I said it. How good would it have been to see that 60 or 70 million go to cancer research or a good charity rather than this absolute wastage?
Yeah, absolutely. And
no seat in the end.
Not a seat. I mean, how much is that per vote they've paid? Or Palm has paid. And, I guess if you're one of Australia's richest men, one of the world's richest men, you can just indulge yourself like that. But that's what it looks like. It's just self-indulgence. And no one was buying it. And no one will buy it in the future either. He was a flash in the pan. He should accept that and move on.
Internationally, we've got a new Pope, American.
An American.
There's an irony there.
Yeah, really interesting. And he seems to be moderate in within the Cardinals, and that's worked well for him. It looks like there's going to be a fair bit of Pope Francis still in his approach to his ministry and how he's going to take the Catholic Church. I think they're all rather encouraging, to be honest with you. I think the more that the Church is seen to be connecting with with people in the way, I guess, in which Christ wanted it to connect,
Yep.
you're going to be seeing it flourish. And I think the less it's caught up in debates about reproduction and other things, I think the better it is for the church in the longer time. That's my view, and it's very personal. And by the way, I'm not a Catholic, so I don't really feel too qualified to speak about it. But I do think that, again, as the world goes through a period of great disruption and we see more and more poverty afflicting the world, we've got to have a papacy that recognises that and sets us an example to all of us wherever we come from.
Yeah, it's a
whatever
powerful
our
voice.
faith.
It's a powerful, powerful voice.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Good to see you. Let's do it again next week.
Thanks, Tim.
We didn't cover about 6 issues because there's so much to talk about.
There's a lot.
We'll do that next week. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.